situation, holding my hand. I'm gonna climb that mountain. I'm gonna rise up again. You know I came here, gotta get things going on for what we're doing. Yeah, we are a legion of angels, and I'm a leader. Said I'm a leader, said I lead them over the resurrection. What do we got to do, yeah? What do we got to think about? What do we got to wonder? What do we do with our minutes on minutes? Don't you know that we're all connected and we're all on the way? But do you really want to be a fighter? Cause a better way for all is up ahead. And I know when we get it together from our heart and our heat and our love and our light, going in the right direction, yeah. We don't want to never going the wrong way or looking back. No, no, no. It's time to make a more hope, hope. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What are we doing, yeah? What are we doing, yeah? Hey everybody, how are you? Allison Hemme here. I'm coming online today to continue my series of evidence and testimony. Even as I speak, I can feel like I stuttered for a year when this happened. I could feel that. It's a really horrifying, terrorizing, torturous situation that my daughter and I have been in for now over 9 years. But that's just been this recent situation because my daughter was abducted for 34 days when she was 5 in 2014. All the same people in my family participated in it back then. So right off the bat, what I'd like to identify at this part of the conversation is to reiterate to the world, to the listeners, to everybody. My circumstance involves my child, my daughter, that I raised as a single mother. I got pregnant by a man who I was dating for a month, who took advantage of the situation. Literally, we weren't, trying to have a child. We were not trying to have a child. And on April 9th, and I remember the day because I prayed, he sexually battered me. He put me in a grip and came inside of me like that fast and then let go. And it was creepy. I got angry at him. I was like, what did you do that for? He said, I thought you said you wanted a baby. Oh, baby. Okay, well, so that's how every man can get away with rape. But it's not just rape. They're not doing it for sexual pleasure. They're trying to get a girl pregnant. How did I get pregnant that first time? Well, he did it a second time and got me pregnant again. I've looked into it. They actually are doing research on sperm, how to make sperm more viable, but I'm pointing that out because the world doesn't want to talk about this population of women, of mothers and children. It's a man's world, and man thinks that he's the master, and the woman is an inferior servant. The children are supposed to do as the father says. And that's why they've built the world, and they think that they get their GDP and their virgin. It's absolutely not true. But setting aside opinions, in the world today, it doesn't want to recognize this because it wants to force everybody into the corners that they want everybody to be in, because this world is ran by a parasitic mind. A parasitic mind that needs like rudimentary order. It's like obsessive compulsive, rudimentary order. It's like it can't handle individuals. It needs everything to be doing the same thing. Well, whatever man wants to think, here's what the numbers say. As of 2020, before they changed the abortion laws, like every year they've said there's about 140 million children born. It's about
every year. Oh, really? How many boys and how many girls? 140, so that's 70 boys, 70 million boys, 70 million girls. Oh, really? Exact like that? That's amazing. Look, look at their numbers. You'll see this game that they want to play with this who's winning the race of what? Who has the most population? Well, I'd like to see it for myself. But anyway, 140 million children born every year. That's what they say. And they even said it, I think, on the United Nations website. It's like, and it's expected to be that for the next 10 years. It's like, you mean you factored that into your numbers, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're true, but whatever. At this time, that year, 2020, there was 121 million unintended pregnancies. Unintended pregnancies. Because when you go to a clinic, they go, oh, is this a planned parenthood? No. 121 million not intended pregnancies. Now, so it's not very convenient to get an abortion, whether they're legal or not. It's not a simple thing that a woman goes through. A woman doesn't use abortion as a method of birth control. No, 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 no. If she ended up pregnant because she's got a husband, that's because her husband wanted her to get pregnant. Was it intended? No. When it's not an intended pregnancy, then he's just violated her bodily autonomy. He's just decided he's going to get her pregnant. Do you know what happens when you have a child? Especially if it's against the law, whether he's battered you, raped you or not, this government is saying you're going to have that child. And this man is going to have access to that child and to you and to your life and to be able to go to the school that the kid goes to and your employer and talk to anybody and everybody and just say, I'm the child's father. Whoa. Talk about, just convert the information into some other market. All right? Okay, no, seriously. Imagine if I was able to go on a date with you, right? And we went camping for the weekend. We go to Big Bear, and come back, right? Because the same situation, he battered me into pregnancy. We were over. I thought that was going to be it. Well, he just stayed away until he needed to come back to try to mess with the game again. So imagine we come back from Big Bear. We're not dating exclusively, and then next thing you know, he's getting papers in the mail. I'm like trying to get custodial time of the Jeep. Like, what are you talking about? What Jeep? The Jeep that the new Jeep that I got the weekend we went to Big Bear? Yeah, it's my Jeep. What? What do you mean it's your Jeep? I mean, I remember I had you come with me to go turn in my old car and go pick up the new one, but I had already talked to the salesman and I've been there the last couple of weeks. I mean, like I've been pricing it out. Like so you came with me, but you didn't sign any loan papers. Your name's not even on the title. Well, the hospitals, by the way, put the man's name there. Do you know that if a woman is married and she comes into the hospital, they don't ask for the father. They insinuate that it's her husband. Interesting, because they want to make it sound like they care about a child, which is true. A child does deserve to know who their parents are, and that's what they hang their hat on. But that's not the truth. That's not what they actually care about. What they care about is making sure that there's a father connected to that birth certificate. They hate single mothers. They put single mothers in the manners that they converted into insane asylums. They ripped their children from them. Those are the orphan trains. They put holes in women's head and they called them lobotomies. I don't know what they're experimenting on. They got a Nobel Peace Prize for it, though. So yeah, they hate single women. Men do. And their wives. Matter of fact, United Nations, they did this survey in 2010. They did this survey in 2020. And it hasn't changed, which is what? 9 out of 10 adult, male and female, admit to being biased against women. Whoa, because it's like 9 out of 10. There's really no wiggle room. The next one is 10 out of 10. Adult male and females admit to being biased against women. Now, just so you know, that phrase right there, if you're a judge, commissioner, attorney. Well, I guess you wouldn't say that, but the court isn't supposed to be biased. It's supposed to be neutral. Well, what would you think if you heard a statistic that said, oh, well, but according to the numbers, 9 out of 10 judges are biased against women? What would you say? Whoa, 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 because a bias is what gets you recused. Miscarriage of justice, abuse of power, abuse of authority, all that stuff. Well, obviously, they're not going to say 9 out of 10 judges are biased against women. But if you can understand what I'm getting at, we don't have a system that's being dialed in and explained to everybody and checked for things, and because otherwise they'd be making correlations like the 34 million. There's 35 million women and about 15 million children that are being trafficked at any given time, and only 1 million women are reported missing. Only 9 million children are reported missing. So there's 34 million women that are missing from being reported missing. 6 million children as well. Well, that's just got to be embarrassing. I mean, well, what does it say also? Forget the fact that these people have millions and millions, tens of millions, if not more, being set aside to fight human trafficking and to fight the violence against women and to fight this. And all they do is they make these committees. So they're spending lots and lots of money every single year to combat these things. But I just gave them my lead. There it is. Go to your jurisdictions and tell all the people in your city, hey guys, we got a lot of missing persons reports. So everybody look around your family, okay? If there's a family member you're aware of and you don't know where they are right about now, and haven't seen them in the last 6 months, we're asking you to file a missing persons report because we want to get those updated numbers. Yeah, that'll also help you track down those votes that are probably being purchased and sold on these markets and stuff. So my point is there's a better way to do all of this. Taking a look at those numbers, those 121 million unintended pregnancies, 73 million were aborted. That's a lot of abortions. Yeah, it's a lot of unintended. Well, so what does that mean? Well, 140 million children are born. So 121 million were unintended. 73 million of those unintended were aborted. So that leaves, that was the 27 and the 21, 48. 48 million between the 73 and the 121 that still were born. 73 were aborted, 48 million were taken to full term, unintended. So technically, that's 92 million Planned Parenthoods and 48 million unintended childbirths. You see that 48? That's more than 50% even of the ones that, so what that means is that sexual battery is the number one cause of pregnancy. And it is a sexual battery. No woman consents to being impregnated when she's not intending on getting pregnant. Especially look at the statistics, look at the stigma. It's not just no big thing to have a baby. Look at how they treat everybody. These men need to feel relevant. It's absolutely disgusting. The system's dialed in for them. The child custody, child support, child protective. These agencies are not for the children. They are merely in place to facilitate the extortion, the hostage taking, the kidnapping, the trafficking, the human research experimentation, subjects, education, research and development, psychological research and development, medical research and development. Everybody is a guinea pig for this world. So you shouldn't be so happy about that. You shouldn't be so happy about the fact that this world is running so fast that nobody could catch up. Nobody could double check that they're not lying to us about what cancer really is, that they're not, the programming, the computers, the AI, they're going faster than anything. This is absolutely a madhouse, this planet. So let me show us some. Let me just see, make sure that we got this. Okay. I'm going to go through some documents that are applicable to this case because I have I have been just silenced, stalked, hunted. I'm alive because God has me alive right now, not because of any other reason. They keep trying to get me out of here, but they need to like make it look like I caused it myself. So anyway, Jorge Magana Vasquez, the not father. I have a Y chromosome. So does my daughter. We are the Christ. We were sent here through the wow signal. Well, my daughter was born by me, but I got it from the wow signal when I was in the womb from another constellation. I haven't seen the specific data. They make it very, very ambiguous and difficult, but it's like a third strand. It's like a third strand. It's something. And it certainly is a duplicate strand. So everybody's got two strands, right? One for your mom, one for your dad. Well, I personally believe that we imprint. That's even what their science says. But I have a duplicate, two identical strands. That's the only way they've been able to map the human genome and know what they were looking at. Well, inside the system, they did gain of function research on my genetics. My daughter, between my daughter and I, loss of CHTOP. It says that, and I'll find it and I'll post it. In the database, it says, because it talks about people in the form of this protein, Aliref. Oh, it's just a gene sequence. No, it isn't. It's a person. Loss of CHTOP, which is my daughter, would cause like certain death. It would lead to absolute annihilation, like destruction. And it's like this thing, and many of them, they found out that killing, that separating my daughter and I would be certain death for me. And then they kidnapped my daughter through this dirty system. It's the scientists that want to get their hands on us. It's the scientists that already have their hands on our genetics that we were never supposed to know the truth about, never supposed to find out about. I was supposed to die, and then the wealth that's been generating on the trillions of dollars of wealth that's been unjustly enriched, that my family's been facilitating, would be, she would, it would get passed down to her, but they control her. That's why they kidnapped her when she was 8 years old, because they needed to control her so they could control that money. There's trustees all over the place trying to control everybody's money, because that's the new game, these money market men. So they need to get you labeled. They got service providers. Everything's digital. So they hunt you, they stalk you, your family members, whoever these trustees are. So they can accuse you of being incompetent, right? All these other things they can accuse you of. And in the trust world, they love to express their hatred for girls. It's all about fathers and sons, right? We're going to find out how exactly opposite that is from the truth. But so I compiled these documents to try to file a domestic violence restraining order, because that's what I came up with. They could take the jurisdiction. The laws are in place. Everything that I did here was valid, but they dismissed it like they always do. The system is dialed in. They got notes next to my name, and everybody sees them, and everybody follows the orders, whatever they say. It's absolute madness. So let's see here. Where am I? So I had gone through a few of these pages. Yeah, so they just totally dismissed it. But Exhibit 5, I was showing. Oh, it's going to play like that, is it? This was his. Yeah, I mean, this was just his profile. I was showing his profile, that I know the names of his family members, that this is certainly him. Then it goes into his criminal records. And this is a profile that I had acquired, but he's got like 9 felonies, and these are outside of California. I can't even get close to California's information. But so yeah, we're talking robbery, another robbery, armed robbery, police evasion, not giving the right identification. He's got another child that he abandoned when she was born. Took off to Utah, took off to Oregon, took off on his crime spree. He started a business. You matter. You matter. Isn't that interesting? Because I wrote a song to my daughter after she was kidnapped, and I posted it, and it says, you matter. This is like the kind of thing that he would do. He's the kind of psychopath that does things on the same date every year just to fuck with you, just to let you know you'll never have another Valentine's Day again without thinking about me, without wondering if I'm lurking somewhere. Not only are these creeps getting away with this, terrorizing the children and women in the cities and the communities, but the community's in on it. They're in on it. And it's not just because it's because they're all participating in violence against women and their children. This nuclear plant, nuclear reactor stuff, I'm onto them, and it seems real creepy. Like, I've already figured out the part where you can identify that they're trying to control these women. They're trying to control your reactions, that they're getting energy from your reactions. Okay, I figured that part out. But what's up with this plutonium being messy and this nuclear weapon that makes it sound like you're either blowing them up or making them orgasm in some kind of creepy thing? It's so disgusting. So anyhow, as I was saying, yeah, this guy's name is on the blocked people's list. Well, it comes up under his email addresses, the blocked persons list, where you'd have to come up with a new identity because you're not allowed to come into the country. Well, it's directly tied to him, his profile. Federal Register blocked persons list. Look, as is killer, Skiller is killer. More criminal records. Come on. Robbery. These were from Utah. Armed robbery. And you can see how people, these criminals, they get the system. Oh God, it's just so disgusting. So come on, turn around, take it out. Okay, there we go. This is, well, you don't have to look at it, but this is a profile for a name. Same description. This is I got this from Utah when I called to find out what records they had. They gave me this one. It's got his last name is Diaz, but it shows forgery. Okay, this guy's a criminal. Yeah. Look, evidence of use of alias, proof no integrity or regard to provide to use false testimony. He's got charges like this all day long. So this kind of guy doesn't even have any standing in any court. This is the way the law works. Once you're a convicted felon, you lose your you lose your right and status. Like, you're not allowed to vote. Right. You're also not allowed to have a minor in your car when you're a convicted felon. Well, especially when every single one of your records and charges is false identification, false testimony, forgery, robbery. Everything you do is illegal. Well, family court doesn't look at things the same way. Right. That's why they want you in family court, because otherwise they'd have to treat you like according to laws of civil and criminal things. Well, I thought the criminal department, the criminal is, like if you get a ticket, it's like, why isn't it in the criminal court? Because they're absolute weirdos. But the criminal system is not for convicting criminals. No, the criminal system is to convict menaces to society, people that affect the public at large, which is why the prosecuting the attorney general, the one for every county, they decide whether they're going to press charges or not. Right. Because they're basing that decision on whether they think this person poses a threat to the whole community. Another thing I thought, I'm like, well, I'm going to prosecute this guy. I'm going to prosecute the hell out of him. And they're like, good luck. What do you mean good luck? Let's go get an attorney. You can't just go get a prosecutor. No, the general attorney, or whichever one it is, attorney general. Why can't I think of that? They're the ones that prosecute, not you. If you want to take a case to court, yeah, you can be a pro se litigant. You can be a plaintiff and you can sue a guy. but you don't get to press criminal charges unless they allow you to. Well, I got at least 31 counts of criminal contempt scheduled, but they prevented me from getting to court. They got it dismissed with prejudice. We're talking proven, 31 counts proven. They're all in on it. So anyway, I don't want to slow down and go through every little itsy bitsy thing because I provide information that supports all of my assertions. Like there's even patterns in his fake names that he lists in his profiles. All of these states all over the place, first, middle, and last. We're talking first, middle, and last. Look, manufacture, possession, of sale of drugs in a school zone. First, middle, and last. Oregon, a divorce with a child case. First, middle, and last. How many kids does this guy have? I don't know, but he is also El Salvadorian, so he looks really young. Like he told me his grandparents still have black hair. I believe it. He's probably 60 years old, not 40 something. Okay, so 9. First, middle, and last name. It's as good as I can get. This is the profile that I found. Anyway, it describes similar, height, weight. That's not his birth date, but that's applicable. And it also includes a description, scar on your forehead. He has a scar on his forehead. Who has a scar on their forehead? Who gets a scar on their forehead? I think he told me it was from a shank, like he got stabbed in some kind of fight. Right here, he has just a scar on the forehead, a stab wound. I demanded the FBI background and was denied access to view it. It's a sex offender. Birthday, February 19th. That was the day of our first date, 2008. Also is the date that they sent in the cartel guy who ended up interfering with my ability to get to court. That was the same day I met that guy. And this case, this guy is applicable to a massacre that took place in Visalia, January 16th, 2023, that also involves this kidnapper who, I'll get there. I was right here. So it's been over 9 years and sorry. I try to keep up as often as possible. I'll admit though, like since my mom died at the end of 2023. So it's been, then I've been harassed by her family and all this stuff. So the last year and a half, I've actually said, there's nothing I can do. I mean, I'm not walking into their jurisdiction. They just want to get their hands on me. They can kill me. But my point is that I've been very diligent this whole entire time. I've written my writ many times because there's new information. I've just added to it. It's just been this painstaking, terrorizing situation of, I got to get my daughter yesterday. I never saw her again. I didn't want to back up all the way. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but I don't even know where to begin. Anyway, so I came across this case, and I'm surveilled and monitored, not just by the government. Like they've got a chip inside me, and I found the databases that shows my hormonal secretions. Okay, they're gathering all my data without my knowledge, without my consent. So I came across this case, and I'm like, George Vasquez, aka George Vasquez, because he uses AKAs. Okay, it's already talking his language. February 19th, I recognize that from that profile that I had found with the scar on his forehead descriptor. It's almost, that's about as it's about as ironclad as you can get with that. Next thing up is a fingerprint to double check if there are. Okay, well, what's this about? Tulare County, 2021, 3 strikes, felony complaints. I'm not even going to read it, but it's all these lewd acts upon children. Count 1, count 2. There's 10 counts, 10 more counts of it. And it's connected to this case from Los Angeles from 1995. Oh no, this is a real bad guy. Habitual sexual offender. Los Angeles, like I said, these are 9 felonies outside of California. Don't even get me started on what actually we'll find out in Los Angeles. Well, this is a situation that documents, I don't think I have all of the paperwork right here, but there's 2 cases, a Jorge Vasquez and a Jorge Magaña. Those are both his names. And it appears that they were both sexual offenders and that they crossed paths. Like the story about this guy was that his file got lost and fell through the cracks. He was actually in jail for 18 years and they didn't even They didn't even check on it. So they actually let him out. He sued them. He got some kind of deal, like millions of dollars. And then they released him. And we're talking, this is a habitual sexual offender where like the psychologist was saying, don't release him. But they did. And then he reoffends. That's this. Okay. There's some kind of cross situation going on where they're trying to make it look like there's two people, but it's one, is what it appears to be. And it would explain a lot. Why would a criminal like this, that can't hold a candle to me, why would the city, why would the county, why would the state, why would my family, why would anybody, how can anybody feel comfortable around this guy? He's got a creepy energy. Well, it would explain a lot if they're all in on the corruption bandwagon together. So that was pretty fucking crazy. That was 2023. My daughter's birthday is on December 31st, and every year I call. I haven't been able to speak to her since February 5th, 2019. Haven't held her since October 25th, 2016, the morning that I dropped her off at school. Never to come home again. I'm a single mother, condo in Thousand Oaks. We had everything, cats, her, everything. We had everything we needed. They assaulted, they soul assassinated us for human research subjects experimentation. So I email him January 15th. You know what, Jorge, you know that I got you. You know that I know, you know that when, as soon as I get you to court, that you're done. So just give me my daughter back. Give me my daughter back. Do the right thing. It'll help you. I'll even go easier on you if you can just do the right thing already. She needs me. Give her back to me. The next night, early in the morning time, like late middle of the night, I see headlines in my YouTube feed, and it's a massacre in Visalia. Visalia? That's that same place in Tulare. Uh-huh. 6-person massacre, including a teenager and her 10-month-old son. What? 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 What the fuck? Dude, I haven't seen my daughter since she was 7.5 years old. But that girl could look like her because she, and and I'm getting chills. And then the other lady that got killed, she looks a whole lot like Tanya, Jorge's sister. Oh my fucking God. And the thing here is earlier that day, because I was doing the research, and I go to log into my court case finder, and it says on my cell phone, your account is connected to, and it has an email, Chase, CHASE KILLOUGH.CK@gmail.com. Chase like kill you .ck@gmail. What the fuck's this all about? Great, because my roommate had taken off. He ended up being gone for multiple days. But I was like, great, they're gonna try to hunt me down here. Great. As that's why I usually sleep with one eye open or go to sleep during the daytime and not the nighttime, because I've got to keep my ears open. But that's what I didn't know what that meant. Well, the massacre, they even have a recording of a belt camera. The teenager tried to run with her 10-month-old son. You saw her place the child over the fence and try to come over the fence. This shooter came after her and executed her son in her arms, and then executed her in the head. By the way, that place is also known as Goshen. It's the same name of the place associated with the Moses story in Egypt. And there's also scriptures that have some correlations. What the fuck? Well, I was frozen. I sent, because my family whole altar in their back on me, and never looked at my evidence, never looked at any of this, never asked me any questions, never. All of them. They participated in this in 2014 as well. Still almost 10 years later, none of us sent anything. Well, so I sent them a text message. I said, yeah, check it out. Did you know this about, look at this. Where's my daughter? Nobody said anything to me. I sent them, including pictures. This is just absolutely. This is the kind of thing it's called shocking to the conscience. It took me about 5 months. And I reached out to that jurisdiction. They have a text message thing, and there's website, their police website. So I felt comfortable. I could send them a text message, and I told them a long story about the situation, the bad guy, the daughter, I don't know, and then the email, and I said everything. And I was following up. I think it was maybe a week later. He called me back, and it was really creepy. It was like, yeah, there's no relation. He was really like nonchalant, like, but he acknowledged that he understood what I was saying. Is that my daughter? He said, no, there's no relation. Mother's somewhere here in town. But interestingly enough about that story is that girl was in the custody of her father. Her mother was some, mother on the loose. This thing that I'm talking about, this nuclear family stuff, this fathers taking children from mothers. They're trying to take everything from us. They're trying to put themselves in our position. They're trying to convert themselves into our authority. So he said, there's no relation. We already caught the bad guy. Her mom's here somewhere in town. All right. How am I supposed to find out anything? This guy won't call me back. I don't know if my daughter's dead or alive. Can't get any information from the schools. My parents even tried to find information. They can't get information. It's just one kid. Is that right? Oh my God. Oh God, no. No. We're not. This is absolute insanity. People like this guy. Well, I also found an $800 million registry for an Alex Corp, some AI company that's selling software or whatever. But in the Google Maps, it says things like, they killed my dog, all this creepy shit. And it's also in Irvine. And I connected that to Irvine, but it's supposedly, okay, so I know how to do the audit. I've been in mortgage lending, and I did due diligence audit for 20 years. So I'm good at that stuff. So when I say I've got evidence, I mean it. And I'm not just talking like bullshit evidence. I'm talking about supporting evidence that has standing in a court of law. Well, they love the fact that a person is going to be overwhelmed by this, especially when they do it like this. They get you back to back to back to back. So don't even start at the place where it's like, they're not supposed to do that. Right? We're way beyond they're not supposed to. Because in that fast, everybody treated me different after that moment. I never saw it coming. And I was supposed to get justice that day. Let's just go through some more of this paper. His sister. I found this on her profile. They've got an email address that says violently happy. Violently happy. He's got a wife. I found a case between the two of them near where they live in that gang territory. And that case is for sodomy of someone. These people look like they're professional criminals that work for the government, the system, but they're the bad guys that are on the streets. They're the gang squads. They're the street squads level. Okay, this is a timeline list from August of 2016. Okay, right, because this is what I filled out for the court. Look at this. Every single one of these dates is a document that I had. I have. It's all I have left from my whole entire world is my evidence. But so it's just a little disheveled. Now it's, oh my gosh, it's almost 10 years later. But so anyway, this is every single thing on here is a document, some kind of documented thing. I've got lots of it from the beginning. And it documents harassment things like him asking for her again. We're talking, this is the kind of information I submitted to the court. It's as best as I could do to show the court this guy is a pattern psychopath. Visitation and TP. Okay, so these are notes. Oh my gosh, I get so verklempt because it's like it's so much assault. It's so violent. I'm so terrified about my daughter. So he has been harassing me since the second that I met him. My mom sent me in his direction. I met him in the town that she lived in, Phelan. She sent me to go get her propane at Ace Hardware, but she never gets it from Ace Hardware. Well, I did. She had me go there that day where he was. This was all intentional. The place I'm at right now is even connected to that family. Human research experiment subjects. They fucked with the docket, changing her last name, assaulting her last name, assaulting me about her last name. They do violent, they are so sick and twisted. And it's going to be my pleasure to actually close the bars and throw the keys into the ocean. Yeah, I went back as far as I could go with his information. He was lodging false records by making calls to the police, always. Well, a person who's never dealt with a psychopath like this has no idea what he's up to until he uses it against you. And that's only when, oh my God. So what was this? This was, okay, right. After I had the baby, I got a place in Seal Beach. This is the day before Alec was kidnapped. I was already trying to gather documentation. I was on top of it. Sorry, I'm so just like, so back in 2009, I had a job. I paid my sister to watch my daughter during the daytime. She turned out to be an absolute evil person. I think, oh my God, I feel right now like I'm so going to throw up because it's just so overwhelming. But anyway, long story short, I asked him, I let him stay. And I said, you could get a job. I gave this guy opportunities, but him and I were not together. I said, do you want to get on your feet? Can you clean? It's a studio. It's like about the size of this room. Can you straighten up a little bit today? He says, I'm not your maid. I went to go walk to the bathroom and I hear his stomp, and pushes me into it gets me into the bathroom. It's a small studio. And he puts his foot in the door. And so he's got his shoulder in the door. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like trying to close the door on his foot. And he finally slows down. His eyeball backs away, slowly pulls his foot away. I'm like, oh my God, my baby's out there. So I take a shower. and I get out of the shower and he says, the police will be here any minute now. Fucking God, this guy is insane. So that wasn't the first incident. So this guy's been harassing me since the beginning. I've never dealt with a criminal guy. Never. It was the very first incident too, which he was trying to act like I was denying him access to my daughter. He was trying to leave and go back to his mother's house. I'm like, what? It's been evil. It's been sickening. It's been mentally ill. And my daughter. So you see how a record can be ambiguous. He called the police and accused me of attacking him. No, he attacked me. Well, who's telling the truth? You both want to go to jail? No, I have a job to get to. So you guys gonna call it a day? Yeah. He gets out of it. The deal closed. You know what I mean? We've already agreed that nothing. Fine, there's nothing to pursue here. But what does the record show? It shows that there was a phone call made about domestic violence. It doesn't identify who did what. It just identifies it. Oh, crafty. Yeah. Lodging false records. It's part of their shtick. And this is the long haul. They go in for the long haul because he's got a goal. And the goal is to steal the child from the mother and send the mother to go get trafficked and killed on the streets. I've got so much records. That's why I'm so vulnerable. There was so much evidence. So I'm going to try to keep it. Yeah, I had him arrested. I caught him doing crack in my kitchen. I didn't. Right? It's like every single thing. It's like I could go into a long explanation. I don't fucking care about this piece of shit. I'm just going to try to stick to as much of a focus as I can because there's so much evidence. It's just disgusting. And so much evidence, meaning like to give to a judge, to show to a family. I've got all the information, like emails that were written And this guy is connected with like satanic stuff, creepy stuff. So everything that he's ever said to the courts is all bullshit. Every single thing that he says is absolute bullshit. But everything that was submitted is not even submitted right. It's not signed. It's not set. Box isn't checked, for this and that. I got my records. There's so many calls. He would call all the time because they forced us into, right? Like, where did I go? Oh my gosh. He abducted her in 2014 for 34 days and I got her back. And I wasn't using the court. I didn't marry this guy. He's not her father. He doesn't live with us. The mediator that they sent us to, again, I've never dealt with any of this, threatens me. If you don't sign the recommendation I have for joint custody, the judge is going to make it harder on you and you could lose custody. So, reluctantly, I went along with it. And for the next 2.5 years, I had to tell my daughter it's just a couple days. She didn't want to ever see him again. He abducted her for 5 days, told her he'd never see her mother again. At 5 years old. I'm telling you, I don't understand. I will never understand you creeps who hurt children, who hurt people, but hurt children. I'm telling you, Jorge, if I see you, I'm going to kick you in the balls so fucking hard, you're going to fly to Mars. I'm not fucking kidding around. You better not come close to me. I want my daughter back. I want to know what the fuck is going on. I want my family in prison. This is absolute torture and terror. And guess what? This is all connected to trillions of dollars of unjust enrichment from them stealing my genetic novelty. I'm the Christ that God sent here. It has to be a female. There goes man again, lying through his teeth about everything. Because he's a criminal. Mankind. I'm sequestered. My daughter's, I don't know if she's dead or alive. They want the money. They're greedy. They want to break into the divine. They don't believe that God exists. So, records and records and records. He was always calling, always asking for him. Keep the peace. Sickening. He's a drug counselor right now. He was a crack addict. He commits fraud. He manipulates photographs. Everything. Right? Like, I'm so I took her to the doctor. That summertime, she came home with a black eye. He goes, "Do you want me to tell her what happened?" She bumped it. No, she didn't. She had a lesion on her lip. She goes, "Mom, I don't get to." I go, I can't. She doesn't get her own bottle of water to drink from. She has to drink from his girlfriend's bottle. This is so fucking sick. I'm telling you right now, I didn't expect to be able to get. I wasn't planning on getting angry. I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't know what else to do. I'm so livid. And you don't get to be angry because they'll use that against you. You don't get to be angry. They're going to use that against you. Now, they're forging a world for their lonely, loser, lame men. They'll let you rape them. They'll let you... everything. Their hatred is absolute insanity. They're not humans. They're not native to Earth. They came from those Anunnakis that split the divine being who has a Y chromosome, and I believe it's also a Z, XYZ. They turned it into two beings. So a man and woman on Earth right now doesn't have divinity. God had to send it in again. That's what they've been researching and developing behind my back all my life. The whole biotech industry has been forged on the research they've been doing on my sequences. And between my daughter and I, they did unjust loss of function, gain of function. I don't think I have that in this set, but the doctor I took for the lesion, she goes, "Why do you want to test it?" I go, "What do you mean, why do I want to test it? Test it." She calls me The doctor, thousand oaks. She says, see, I told you there's nothing to worry about. She said there's nothing to worry about, that it came back negative. Then I get a call like an hour later from somebody from the laboratory saying, well, actually, it did come back with some kind of a virus. There's indications in her drawings that there's sex trafficking going on with children. I'm concerned that my daughter's brain has been plugged into a computer. They have been researching quantum entanglement between us. This is what the divine that they're trying to steal, crack their way into. Neural networks, RNA, anti-aging, telomere to telomere, all this stuff from us. I said it, hundreds of trillions of dollars. But they want to treat me like a piece of shit that needs to die already. So they lie. They make up stories. These trustees, they go to courts. They want to control everything. 100% of my family has done this to me. Well, they should stand right next to the pedophile fucking criminal. They should put on the orange just like he will. I hope they understand what they look like now that they're all behind bars. Was it worth it? Not one of them has asked. Not one of them has wanted to listen. Not one of them has wanted to look. And I've been persistent. They deserve everything that God gives them. I took her to the doctor. There was incidents. My God, our cat got killed ritual style. But what they really did was kill some other cat and steal our cat so that they could have my cat at their house. This has been such psychological torture for my daughter. 31 counts of criminal contempt, dismissed with prejudice. Then they got me arrested because I was sleeping in my car trying to get a job at the 99-cent store, still trying to figure out what the fuck I was going to do. The manager knew I was sleeping in the parking lot. Oh, no, they broke into my car, took me to jail. The same judge that was in family court is now in the criminal court. Ironic. Milan. It's the same last name as the other guy, the gang sucker with it. Okay, it's all tied together. He was harassing me for custody ever since he battered me the second time and I got pregnant, and then it turned into a molar pregnancy, which they told me was only had his information in it, which is bullshit. It only had my information in it. Well, they were hoping to kill me through chemotherapy, and I found that in the securities registries. I found the patent that says Ali Ref didn't die from chemotherapy. Yeah, that's right. Escaped apoptosis by chemotherapy. It admits it, that I escaped death by chemotherapy. I went to his jurisdiction to 12 times, demanding they let me get my daughter back. They're all gatekeeper Satan worshipers in them towns that they go to. Riverside, Los Angeles. They're witches. The school wouldn't let me. Her school was so far away. Like, what the fuck? This has been such torture and terror, I'm telling you, Rachel. The people in my family that have facilitated this. I don't want to see them. They have had all of this time to do something, to say something. They don't. They haven't. They won't. Well, when you guys get to prison, have them tattoo your forehead. Pedophile. Criminal. Creep. Dad. Literally. I had gotten a job that was starting just days later from the day that she was kidnapped. Because I got that chemotherapy situation, the molar pregnancy. My boss at Bank of America told me I could take a leave of absence, the Family Leave Act. I didn't plan on being out for even 12 weeks. Well, they fucked up the insurance. They put it in under behavioral instead of medical. Then they've expected me to get a psychiatrist. I'm like, what? Then they want that, put me on medication. What? This was an assault. An assault. They intended on me dying through chemotherapy. Well, when I couldn't get a job, the Bank of America wasn't hiring for, I was trying to get a job. No responses on my resume for the first time in 20 years. But not even like, thanks for submitting it. We'll keep it for later. Not one. I didn't know how to figure out what the fuck was going on. What the fuck? What the fuck? Well, he's a telecommunications specialist. So he interfered with my communications. I don't even know how to know what he did, but all I know is that that's what he did. I didn't get my emails not because they weren't coming in, but because they were intercepted and interfered with. They exploited the fact, knowing that I had studied Reiki and acupressure. Yeah, because I have strong hands. I'm a healer. Well, they knew that they could work that one out, so they maneuvered it. They got things premeditated and preempted. 1, 2, 3. They get this guy to say that to go over here. So I ended up doing body rubs for 6 months because there was an opportunity. I had a $5,000 overhead, and a person that I knew said, "Well, have you checked out Backpage?" Like, for what? He's like, you could clean somebody's house for like $500 in a bikini. I'm like, I might be willing to do that because I need to keep my life. Well, there was an ad from a lady that said, "I can make you $10,000 a week. No sex. No sex. It's just a massage. It's like an appointment where these men want to feel great." Okay, so I read her program, and she booked me the first weeks of clients, and all it was is touching. You know what I'm saying? It's got a happy ending, but that happened all by itself. Listen, I'm talking keeping my house. Men, look at the things that they let men do to try to keep their house. You see a man with his stroller, like you can see a flop of a dad on the street. Oh, look at him. He's trying so hard. They destroy women. They don't want women to have the same abilities. Well, did Alex see anything? No. And it was only 6 months nonetheless. My point is that's actually a key element to this whole story because God's the one that's been guiding me. I'm actually the Christ. My daughter is also the Christ. It actually is true. God had me do that. He gave me absolute perspective. It proved a whole hell of a lot. This was always meant to come to pass. But I've had to come to know that during these years, not ahead of time. So long story short, I put my own session together. It was a 2-hour session. It was $400, and it was basically a taunt. I invited a gentleman in to. It smells like honeysuckle, fresh water, fresh fruit. I would talk to you. I'd give you a hug. I'd shower you. So I'd scrub you, put you on the massage table, wrap your feet in hot towels. Then I'd do the rest of your body, and it would happen like without even noticing. Blow it. Literally, it's like a fucking manicure person puts her hands on your feet. Come on already. Don't fucking bullshit me. So they did that intentionally so they could accuse me of being that. Well, when I did that, I was aware that they could try to do that. But again, everything happened exactly the way it was supposed to happen. That's why it happened. I was told by it was only 6 months, 3 clients told me their marriages had never been better. Because that's what I would talk to them about, their life. Who is a man going to talk to? Okay, the clients were like 60 years old. Most of them had been married for 50 years, and one of them, his wife had cancer. So she didn't feel pretty or sexy. He was one of the ones who said his marriage had never been better. Alex never saw anything. It was always my house had never been cleaner. I never actually had more money or time. I actually had time for my daughter. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself. I finally felt comfortable in my own skin because I'm not perfect. But what I learned is that as long as you feel confident, men think you're beautiful. So again, this is Thousand Oaks. It was a nice area, $400, 2-hour session, no creeps involved. And I didn't even schedule an appointment until I talked to them for a day or two. So this was only for 6 months. I never planned on doing it forever. It was literally because I needed to keep my life afloat. But it was also because I was maneuvered into it. Now that I had that, in hindsight, I was able to see that after the fact. But nonetheless, he tried to call the Child Protective and accuse me of being a whore. Well, they did his thing at her school. This was before she was kidnapped, just months before. That was September. It happened in October when he kidnapped her. They went to her school. They came to the house. They went to her school. They came to the house. I told them, this is what happened. That's what I did. So he goes, well, we're not supposed to tell you what to do. So just get a job in your industry again. I said, yes, sir. And I did. I went, I found all my contacts. I had a job starting November 5th. I already had been hired because I found somebody that I worked with before and they actually were hiring and I was able to work from home. It was perfect. Well, they kidnapped my child. I wasn't able to even start that job. I'm still in shock as we speak. When they say character assassination, that's not going to cut it. It's more like a soul assassination. But you know what? I'd rather just take like life assassination. Just criminally convict him for the life assassination part first. We'll deal with the soul and the character and the reputation and the rest of your life later. It's so fucking disgusting. And this is important for you to know, everybody. Like, there's not one thing about this world that makes any sense, that gets any thumbs up from me, because it's all the same shit. And none of them are going to be able to bullshit me about their not being affiliated. They're all dialing it all in together. They're all paying for the wars together. They're all doing nuclear weapons testing and enrichment. Do you know that they're not talking about nuclear weapons, actually? I think they are and they aren't. I know that they're using this nuclear reactor language, nuclear weapon, to describe some sick shit going on inside of these households. It appears to be the game plan, which Jorge used against me. These men, they get multiple children going with women, but they're adversarial. So they get them pregnant, and then they act like they're the cat's meow, and then they've got some dispute with this disgruntled ex. That's the new gimmick. These men want to look like they're the good parents, and she's just a whore. She's a disgruntled ex, jealous ex-girlfriend. Their gimmick. So that they can get child support from her, and they can also have the child. That's what they want to get it. They want to give it to us because we didn't want to be their slaves, and we wanted to raise our children when we didn't want to be his, servant. Yeah. So I had a good job. So here's my resume. I was getting my notary public. I'm so verklempt. I'm just so verklempt. And they also, by the way, Jorge had to have contacted them, because I was trying to tell him, like, maybe I can start at the next one. And she goes, well, actually, because you didn't get your paperwork to us today is why we're not going to accept your employment. Thank you. Bye. Whoa. I even said it. Did you get a call from somebody? And they never even responded. That's the kind of interference these imposter creep cartel motherfuckers use. The paperwork that they sent me from their attorney is all backwards, upside down, and violating all the laws. All of it. It's just they assault you with everything, so that way you're overwhelmed. Are you an attorney? Do you know what all the laws are? Or do you know how the courts work? Do you know how the family courts work? Do you know how the schools work? There's a whole lot that they know, that they've got dialed in, that you're going to have to figure out. And you're going to notice stuff. And then you're going to have to look into it. Like, hey, wait, why does it say that? Hey, that's not my case number. You got to figure it out that fast. But I'm in shock. My daughter might make my daughter. So you can see temporary orders are void. Sorry, I'm going to take a deep breath. There's nothing I could do. And now, Jacqueline Burns, now they've got that custody, the child support. Child support is why my passport's with the DOD nuclear reactor site. They got a $200,000 mortgage on my name. They don't even have my daughter's name connected to it. Can't bank. I go, this is a void order. There's a difference between void and voidable. This one's void. Well, that doesn't mean shit to any of these people. I go, well, what are you guys doing? That's fault. They're not going to help you. You need to go to court. But that court's the one that did me in. Well, that's your home state. Okay, well, see, that's a problem also. Because the way that the law system, it's all sickening. But when you're being fucked like this by the system, and it's involving your child, and it's involving your family, and everybody in your community, this has got to be a video game. This is absolute horror film. And when you're left for dead, you've been sent to die. You lost everything because they did you in like this. And every single one of your family members and friends have turned their back on you. Because why? They won't tell you. They still haven't to this day. Anything Jorge, the fucking criminal, could say. My family? 100% of them. Well, the fact that didn't ever make sense is why I knew I was on to them for something. Yeah, and that's when God led me to find the information about my genetics when the COVID thing happened. Loss of function, gain of function. They were hoping to affect me with that. They've been hoping to affect me with a lot of things. He filed for child support the day that he kidnapped her, on the 25th. Her school just gave her away. She never came back to home. He moved her to another county in a different jurisdiction. You're not even allowed to do that. Of course you're not supposed to do that, but they do. I'm a single mom. What are these people in the office doing this for? Because he's talking behind my back this whole entire time. Little did I know. That's not her last name. Her last name is Hemi. Well, I have drawings of her saying, "Bye, Alec Hemi." And he stopped her from saying, "I love you" on the phone. I only got to talk to her like that many times. He made me hear her sob and take the phone away from her and say, "This is what your mother's making me do." And he hung up the phone. I'm hearing my daughter sob. And then when I got the thing, I finally got into court. I didn't even have a day in court. He filed his paperwork and he's saying all these lies, and he's describing it like Alex, as if Alexandria is misbehaving. Her behavior's out of because of this woman. It's like, my God, my daughter's kicking and screaming because she wants to go home. And she's scared of this man who abducted her in 2014 already and said she'd never see her mom again. She's not able to tell him. The system gave her to him. A pedophile. A criminal. Who couldn't hold a candle to me. The Child Protective Service closed the case prior to this day. But that wasn't it. Then the police even started hunting me. I ran into California in my life. This has been going on for almost 10 years. My daughter's 17. I think that they might have even turned her into a boy. This is terror. This is terrorizing. Oh, God. All I get is harassed. Interfered with, intercepted with. Why? Because I'm more important than they are. So they want to kill me. They want to steal from me. Because they're pieces of shit. That have an inferiority complex, that have greed. They suffer from their Satanism. Anybody who is in my shoes. These people want to see if they can make the Christ go to the dark side. You want to know? God is so awesome. That's how I'm alive. God saved my life so many times. I've been taken by traffickers 3 times. And 3 times, God compelled me to speak, and I was returned to where they took me from. God has guided me this whole entire time. God has kept me calm when I know that it wasn't going to serve me well if I told the truth. If I allowed myself to cry, if I allowed myself to scream. They don't let you. They don't let you complain about it. They don't let you. They're going to call you mental. They're going to put you in an institution. It's so sickening. The only thing I've been able to do is pray to God. Give me the keys, and I will fucking put this place in order. Guess what? I got those keys. I got those keys, and you want to know what else? I've got God's guidance. And I'm able to see outside and around and above your guys' perspective. But I am a human. My child, I don't know if she's dead or alive as we speak right now. And all they're trying to do is lure me into their jurisdiction. Call us. We're going to steal your money, all your mega money, and we're going to accuse you of not giving a fuck. Oh, no, you don't. Oh, no, you don't. I'm not here to kiss any of your asses. God's got this all under control, and you want to know what I also know? God's not very happy with you. So no, fuck you. Fuck you. You're going to go ahead and drown yourself, pig. Yep. Not going to fall for your lure tactics. Not going to fall for your seduction rackets. Not going to train your artificial intelligence. Not acquiescing. I'm allowing you to dig your own grave. All of you. My child was kidnapped. My mom was basically put in a hospice within a couple weeks. She came by my house on October 31st, Halloween. She goes, "What are you doing?" I was looking through the drawings of my daughter. There's kids at the door. I don't fucking care. My house was decorated. My daughter's not here. She never came home. She was kidnapped. But when I try to tell anybody, the way that it goes is they think you're just talking, you're just exaggerating. It's just a child custody case. No, you pedophile. What do they say? You're a sympathizer? You pedophile sympathizer? No, it's not a family case. This is even worse. This is intrafamilial. This is even worse. This is more sickening and mental. This is violence. This is torture. Well, they don't want to hear it. I'm telling you right now. The number of people I've seen, dealt with, talked to in this whole situation. I'm telling you, these people are satanic. The only thing that I can do is close my eyes and go, "Dear God, please throw them in the slammer before my foot finds their balls." Literally. This is absolute insanity. They're all working together. That's the colonial families. They've got their translation trying to make the woman out to be the dragon. Well, I'll show you what the translation actually says. But I'm not even worried about convincing any of you. I want you pieces of shit to get the fuck out of here, and I never want to see you again. Let God deal with you elsewhere. I understand the reasons why God wants everybody to learn and overcome their shortcomings, they say. But this cosmos is infinite, and there's no reason for you to just to bypass the lesson learning part. Getting a timeout and having to observe when you're not able to interact, and you just have to remain silent, and you have to be put through experience from that person, from the people that you've harmed perspective. That's the way you learn. So there's no getting out of it. They figured they had strength in numbers. Everything was dialed in against me. Everything. So precisely that we're talking 100%. That's a dead giveaway. Like, they shouldn't have gone so hardcore. If they made it almost 100%, like they left a couple stragglers who pretended to like me, who pretended to still care, who pretended. They didn't leave anybody to pretend. It's almost as if it is a switch that they turned, because that's how immediately it happened. This is his attorney. His attorney just got released from prison. She was in prison, federal prison, for drug trafficking in a federal. It's a cartel. It's a RICO cartel. Yeah, she just passed her bar exam 5 days before she was released from prison. I've just got evidence for days, circumstances for days. There's criminal. They got a warrant out for me over there. Yeah, well, they didn't like it very much when I tried to file a complaint against them. All of them. He broke into my cell phone. He's meddling with my telecommunications. This is evidence of it. Oh, yeah. He also was $4,000 back in child support owed to me at the time of this. I even read that the courts sometimes switch custody just to balance out the owed amounts. Like, so he might be a couple thousand behind, like this one. He owes me $3,300. So they'll swap out the custody so for 6 months, so that way it can absorb the money. No, no, but that's what they wrote. They wrote it down. Well, I'm telling you right now, you men, you war fighting, woman hating men, you're gonna want to hightail it out of here. You're gonna want to find Elon Musk and hope that he's got a spaceship ready to go and spots for you. That's the way I feel about it. It's one thing. You're either gonna approach, you're gonna have some guts, integrity, truth, and we'll take it from there. Every one of you. Or you'd need to get the fuck out of here. Yesterday. This is God's cosmos. God built the old world that man's been destroying. We built the babies. These are parasite pirates. They steal everything. They don't create anything. 31 counts of criminal contempt. They give him a public defender. Don't even get me started. Just more evidence of it. I file a letter with the state of California, the child's division. Nothing. They don't do shit. Try to file complaints. They lost the complaint against the mediator. Oh my God, this is it's such harassment. You have to figure all this out. I think that my family even paid for his attorney. My aunt, my uncle, the trustee of the my mother's family side, more family. My uncle is an attorney in Irvine. His wife is an attorney in Ventura. Ironic. That's where I lived. I bet you she knows Carla. Bet you she knows Milan. Bet you she knows Lund. Yeah, they're all dialed in together. And all they have to do is lie and call me a prostitute. Have some Ian Getz, like similar to the name that's the president of Israel, do an investigation and fabricate stories. Fabricated. Overwhelm the situation. She'll never survive. That's what they did it so aggressively because it was a shoe-in. It was a sure bet. They guaranteed that it was no problem. Oh, did they just give me every single piece of evidence I ever needed as I have survived? I've seen them, and they're so obnoxious about it. This decouple media, talking about this nuclear stuff. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to write complaints about the commissioners. Paperwork. I'll just scroll through it. And actually, what I was going to do is let's go here. Yeah, they just assault you. Your name, your record, your career, your credit, your everything. Everything. They take your house, they take your car, they take your animals, they take everything. They want you die. They want you dead. But they silence you to death. They're just never going to acknowledge you again. They're just going to leave you for dead. And everyone's going to just, it's satanic. That's all I deal with is harassment. These guys. If only I had backed it up just a little bit more, it sounds like they're talking about women, children, breeder type plants, small modular reactors, right? Psychological manipulation, psychological assault. They're generating energy from causing reactions. That's a guaranteed. It's guaranteed they're not talking about actual pellets of actual nuclear product. It's it, it's certain they're referring to like how to that they say on your YouTube feed or your Facebook feed, right? Because you're feeding the beast with information. So on every oh god, it's just so much information. It's like the electrical, the electricians, engineering stuff. It sits there. Isotopic. Wait, what did I do? Oh no! Teacher, teacher. What? Where? Who do you sell your electricity to? You guys gathering it? You guys like putting it in a backpack? I don't think so. I think it's money markets. I think it's gaming. I think it's all the creepy shit that these guys like. Look at how creepy he looks. Want to? So apparently there's nuclear reactor plants all over the place. These are like neighborhoods. Sorry, if my production goals, I didn't know. I didn't know we had engineers with production goals, and some of them want to focus on plutonium 239, and they got languages for it, and they got names of facilities, and these guys creep me out. Wait, if it stays there longer and absorbs a neutron again, these guys use their words. And this guy with his creep glasses, he says things that that are real obvious if you're listening. They say stuff like this all the time. You'll see. Roasting? Okay, so did you just pick up on it? 36 months is, I heard him talk about 6 months on, 6 months off. Nuclear reactors? Wait a minute. It sounds like they're talking about enriching. Uranium enriched? Right. So if they can program these children, or if they can monetize anything out of these children, including their behavior, including their servitude, who knows what they're talking about? Clones? They're talking about something, not what they're talking about. This is a front operation. They're They're getting to get away with using the language that might very well be an industry. These guys are not. There's lots of these guys. There's engineers all over the place. Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. Well, what do you mean by nuclear weapon? Now I'm going to find out. A nuclear weapon is like me, someone that knows too much and isn't dying. That's what Iran getting a nuclear weapon is talking about. Trump wants to control me and my genetics and my daughter. That's what they don't want to give my daughter back. That's why they want me dead. That's why they want to send in boots in the ground to come and kill me. Well, fire will rain down from the sky if they try. These guys are absolute creeps. Go on. You could do it. I believe you. Anyway, you've got to listen to this decouple media. They talk about this stuff for a couple hours, and again, this other guy with the glasses, he says things like, "I think this is a Mercedes kind." They're talking about monetizing women and children. There's breeder types. There's just listen, just listen. So anyway, finishing up these documents, I even showed how if my child was taken from me by the welfare system, they'd have to follow protocol. But this guy's a stranger, and he gets to go in and just waltz right out of, take my daughter over county lines, never come home again. My family facilitated it. They'd have to follow protocol. You keep notice. They have to give you notice. They have to tell you what's wrong, and then they have to give you time to fix something. These fathers can just take these children. He's a stranger over county lines. That's against the. They're not supposed to do that, but they do. They do it all day long. So Pam Bondi being fired, this is what all of them are. It's sickening. Come on. So I'm all upset about it. It makes me feel very upset to talk about it, but so that's why I'm putting it on here. So that if anybody's looking for information, I'm trying to give it to you. Nobody talks to me. Nobody asks me any questions. Like I said, after he abducted her back in 2014, they forced us to go to court and act like this was a family dispute. You don't see that until after. I didn't see this. They got it all set up. But she's given to me sole custody. She's my daughter. I raised her all by myself. Her net. He also intimidated me at the hospital about her last name, and I didn't think. I was like, I'll fix it. I'll fix it. I'm not gonna do this here. These men are possessive. Yeah, it's like I'm getting so sick and tired of even seeing these pages. It's a horrible feeling. It's so horrible. Self-explanatory. Everything he says is a lie. He never responded with anything like point for point. Never did any of that. Legally, this stuff is void. Exactly. They overwhelm you with because it's a fraud in the first place, second place, third place, fourth place. It's all fraud. The way they mail it to you, they don't serve you properly. They don't file it properly. They don't fill it out properly. They break every single law. It's their mojo. So that way they can, like an accurate person who's going to follow the law. All right, I got 75 points I got to make about your bullshit. It takes a person 12 times as much time to catch all those mistakes and figure out what the law is that they violated. You're not, and I'm not even an attorney, So that's what they do. They do you in. That Dina Marshall, you're going to prison. go to prison. All of them are. I was in court less than 6 months. I brought him back to court 3 times since 2014. It's because he had expected me to die from the chemotherapy. And when that didn't happen, he had to kidnap her after he killed my cat on Halloween. Alec was... They were trying to frame me as the bad guy. They use scapegoating, that it's atonement, whatever you want to call it. They blame you for what they're guilty of. They want you, these psychopaths, would love nothing more than to know that you're rotting in jail doing their time. Guess what you're going to get? Guess. It's all for the sake of converting. All of them, these trustees, they want to steal everything you've got. I have $100 trillion Christ heist case. It's prima facie. I've got authority given to me by God. I'm sealed. The Pope is holding my keys, even though they're fraudsters, and I can show them and you where they've committed fraud. Those are my keys. So there's a situation going on here. This isn't just a court case. This isn't just corruption. This isn't just me bitching. This isn't just one mother and child. This is the story the Bible scripture was provided to us by God for. God led me to find my story in the Bible. God led me to find God giving me God's witness to my testimony. That's what it's for. Now. It's for now, not back then. These liars, fraudsters, parasites are Satan. It's evil. It's the money game. It's the markers of the beast. Those behavioral. They're trying to behavioral profile all of us because they're trying to control everybody. They're trying to control all of us. I told you I brought it back 3 times. It's taking forever. It's so disgusting. And again, this guy can't hold a candle to me. At no time does this person assess his criminal record. I told her about it. Well, they already know that they're doing you in. And he's taking care of making sure that your family is never going to listen to you. Because I'm worth trillions of dollars. They all want to split amongst themselves. They can't let Allison find out. They've got this Jesus narrative they've got to fulfill. That's why I think they've turned my daughter into a boy. I believe that they've planted my blood on the Shroud of Turin. I live with the guy whose face is on it. They're up to no good. Like I said, you're going to want to hightail it out of here. I was telling them everything. They never did anything. So, no, this system is a piece of shit. It wants you to be its slave, and it wants to think that you're stupid, and it wants to think that it's got its clever self all dialed in. Well, maybe you had the upper hand, but not for long. My daughter in my case is God sealed and appointed. This is the one time you don't get away with it. That's the only reason why I've been able to laugh from time to time or relax. And that's what God's given me. The one pierced for the transgressions of others. God says it in the scripture. I did this. I put you through this, but that's because I've been forging you through the fire, preparing you for the role and the authority that I'm giving you. You better believe. That's almost 10 years being trained by the hand of God. Saving my life, literally, literally, literally. So these creeps, him, his wife, his sister, his mother, my family, my sisters, all my sisters, my stepmothers, my mother, all the women are in on this. They're the witches, all of them. They want to make me out to be the one because, of course, they're fucking lowlives. They want to point the finger at one bad guy. They need a fall guy, right? But it's so obvious. Well, when everybody does this, when everybody's dialed in, the system, this community, the school, the courts, everybody's Satan worshipers. That's why they've been getting away with it. That's why this is happening, because God's putting an end to all that. And Alexandria will be given back to me. Reborn. That's what I've asked for. I will take anything. Except God knows that I'm not gonna be like, oh, that's fine. Oh no. I'm just saying it right now. Just keep my peace. I changed. Excuse me. I had her name corrected. I finally got her name corrected. Oh my God. It's such fucking evil. And again, this guy's such a psychopath. These narcissists, they love going to court. They love arguing through their teeth. He said sorry, I'm all over the place, but it's because he actually scheduled a thing and said, I think you guys made a typo. No, Jorge. We came to court and I had her last name. I had my last name added because remember when you bullied me in the hospital, and I even hyphenated his last name. They got me to because when you're just trying to be a good guy, when you're just trying to be a good guy, you're not thinking strategy. You're thinking, I'm going to try to be a good guy. Every single time they get one over on you, it's like a black magic curse. And they get off on it. It's a sexual perversion. He escalated things, and I don't even want to talk about this anymore. I absolutely terrorized. And there's like, so you can see this is only on page 180. So I got all these. I got so much evidence. I can't even stand looking at it. It's just talking about, I know I have to tell everything. It's so much. It's just so much. Has anybody taken an interview from me? No. Has anybody even read my documentation? No. Nobody's acknowledged anything. This is their mojo. They silence you to death. Guess what they're gonna get? That's how God works. I don't have to get my hands dirty. I just return to them what they tried to put on me. Now their wish is their command. They've been abusing my daughter, brain memory wiping, installing memories, because they need my daughter to go along with the narrative too. My mom I've got the evidence. They've done malfeasance on the docket. They've had me gang stalked. They tried to break into my trunk, trying to get my documentation. Even here, she tried to she put it in the trash can twice. She assaulted me. Stole my guitar, stole my Tanzanite, stole my thumb drives, tried to steal my computer. So much. I was in court less than 6 months before the day she was kidnapped. Dina did the same thing. That fucking whore is going to prison. Yep, that's right. And she doesn't get to wear her wig. She's a dark, twisted woman. Her and Carla Hartley, that was his attorney. Both of them, I found evidence that they're midwives. Because that's what you are when you work for a cartel. You have to give birth to girls, teenagers that are giving birth to babies underground. Sick, twisted witches. I was in, I can't even stand the stuttering stuff. So they don't even use technology. They don't even use technology. They don't want to help us. They don't want to make a system that makes sense. So all I can tell you is what God's shown me. We're going to get a system dialed in, God level. Man can go elsewhere. And his harlot wife, you're out of here. No, Crypto, you're coming with me because I love you. He's a puppy. Roo. All of this stuff doesn't even make any sense. Notes for days, just for days. It's just I'm so like I get like it would be helpful if I would like read these, but I actually I need to stop. I can't do this right now. Like so I'm so it's absolutely terrible. Yeah, I'm gonna stop. Well, it was just another custody order that was issued by the witch. She lives with me full time. Can't take her more than. I responded point for point. He never answered anything. These are available in Ventura. There's 7 volumes. They play trickery games. He never answered them. Request for admission. I did a pretty good job. The judge actually complimented me on my contempt paperwork. I told them I'm going to file a domestic violence restraining order. I get to the court. The lady doesn't file mine. They file his. Okay. So like there's just I'll pick up on this. I'll pick up on this paperwork when I can calm down because this is the part that deserves. This is where the matter happened on the day and where the paperwork's all fucked up. I need to go through this calmly and relaxed but it's been good that I've documented this because this is sorry. It's more important. It's more important that I get that I show the trauma that this is because you can see these whatever this gets brought whatever happens the paperwork can still be seen. This is terrorizing. This is torture. Just because I'm divine doesn't mean these people are sick, satanic, bad guys. And I'm holding on to what God has shown me to know. That you pieces of shit are out of here. And that God's going to give us a safe, beautiful paradise. Because I'm God's wife and that's God's daughter. So fuck you all. Get the fuck out. I'll finish this.